Welcome back to Unbiased and Unbossed. If you've been keeping up, DL and Monique have been going back and forth ever since a promoter situation went bad. Over the weekend, Monique posted a video of DL Hughley on Sway Calloway discussing when his daughter told him that she was SA'd and he didn't do anything.
How come when people do stuff like this, they're always above reproach, nobody ever believes them, and then it's always a lot of it. And it's always, and the reason it hits home to me is because my youngest daughter said something happened to her, and because it was somebody I like, I didn't believe her. And I'll never get that back. She'll never, I'm supposed to protect her, and I'll never get that back that she told her father something, and he didn't do nothing about it. Because it was inconvenient. So I could see how that could play.
Right.
And there's so many, everybody wondering around why women are mad and why people are like that. Look at the shit they go through.
Yeah.
Like when she said on Color Purple, a girl child ain't safe in the family for the men. That's fucking true.
After making this post, Monique received a lot of negative feedback. She received negative feedback from DL Hughley's oldest daughter, not the one in question, and she wrote a very long response to Monique. DL decided to respond today.
That was Faith Evans. You used to love me. So I know that I said that I had done all I could here about this whole Monique situation, but over the weekend, her and her husband released a video where I was doing an interview and I detailed my daughter's sexual trauma. Monique has taken that video and perverted it for her own uses. She's decided to add her own narrative. I will only say this, and I'm answering this now in response to a request from my daughter, who, of course, over the weekend was crying, of course, having her trauma, tried it out in front of the world, in a situation she had nothing to do with, that doesn't have anything to do with a contract, would be traumatizing to anybody, particularly when it's from somebody who claims to love us for real. But she proceeded to talk about how I let a man touch my child, which nothing could be further from the truth. They were both 13 years old. They were friends that had grown up together. She told me about it years later, and when she told me about it, I, and this is something I lament to this day, denied that I said, well, you know, that's what kids do. Now, that was my estimation of it. It was not her interpretation of it. She was hurt by that. And I will never forgive myself for not, A, believing her, and B, handling it the way I did. But for Monique, A, to put a man in that room, which never happened, and B, to bring up sexual trauma in an argument that has nothing to do with what you're talking about, is unconscionable. My daughter Tyler addressed it, my daughter Ryan addressed it with her in a letter. And the thing that I was most proud about in the letter is not only that she held her head high, because she's supposed to. The other thing is, she said there are legitimate things you could have gone after my father about, because my children know exactly who I am. They know that I'm not perfect. They know that I'm flawed. And none of them would have a problem with you assailing things that are really true. But you and your husband putting a man in my daughter's room, and that is not what I said, and weaponizing it and using in a trite argument shows exactly how low you are. You are a monster. You literally are. You didn't play Precious. You didn't play Precious's mother. You let her out. You stopped pretending to be human, and you won a role for being exact. You won a Oscar for being exactly who you are. Who says they love women and are there for women and protect the babies and would trot out someone's sexual trauma just to use in an argument? I don't know anything about you. I know that what happened to you when you were a child, what happened to you when you were growing up, those things are traumatic to you, and I would never bring them up. Never. It would never occur to me to do it, because that's not where I live. That's not what I do. You have had this argument or this show be about everything. It was about a contract. It was not. It was about an insult on the radio station, on my radio station. The question never aired. You know it never aired. And you continue to have this. And then you have the temerity to answer my daughter's letter with an invitation to come on my show. I will never let you on my show. Never. You will never talk to my children. I will never have anything to do with me. You do not exist. Maybe leaving my children out of your mouth will leave you room for the food you love so much. Look, You can continue to do whatever you want to me. That is fair game. I'm in this business. For you and your husband to continue to do things like this, you have already, first it was a contract. You've attacked everything. The dog, my wife, now my children. Enough. You do not exist to us. You don't get to break my family. You don't get to do that. I don't know if you've ever had a man who loved you as much as I love my children. I don't know if you've ever had anybody who's standing in your stead, because the man next to you damn sure ain't doing it. All he's doing is wrecking what's left of the rubble of a career that you're pretending to build, trying to build back. Leave my children alone. Stay with me and we're fine. You're a horrible woman. You love women like Ike loves Tina. Now that girl over there, well, I shouldn't call you a girl, this woman over here, you know one thing for sure. I love you. And I'd never let it. And I'm your daddy for real. And you don't have to pay me for it. One day, I hope that you're happy and you can stop being such a miserable, low human being. Maybe one day you will get to be as small as you often act. That's a little note from the GED section. We got the Jazz Report coming up in 15 minutes. It's the D.L. Hughley Show.
There are only a few things that I have to say about Monique. One of them being is the narcissism behind Love Us For Real. We know that you're trying to hold other people accountable, specifically the people that you've mentioned. I think not saying Love Us For Real would serve you very well, because it just comes across as if you're just trying to hold the people who wronged you accountable. And I don't have a problem with that. But the Love Us For Real, I do think that that's a bit narcissistic and should be deleted from your messaging. Secondly, I do believe that you've had interactions with people that have not gone very well, and more so on your part. There have just been several people such as Jamanika and Gabourey Sidibe said something back in the day that has led me to believe that not everybody is lying about not having good interactions with you and you being at the forefront of that disrespect. When it comes to DL, all I can think about is one of my favorite YouTubers' phrases, in which she says, "We live in a black male worshiping culture." You see, it doesn't matter what Monique says or does, she's going to be the underdog. And that's been very visible and very eye-opening since this situation started to unfold. You see, when that video initially started circulating of her at the performance, she starts off by saying the promoter is janky. She then says that DL said, if I don't go on after her, I'm not performing. So she went on still. But she went on and she roasted the hell out of him. Now, when you get back to social media, it's become another thing. What it's become as Monique attacking DL, instead of him pulling strings behind the scenes. He then starts off his rebuttal. I now know what these other people have said about you to be true. Let me refresh your memory on that and show you the clip.
And now I know what Tyler Perry knows. I know what Lee Daniels knows. I know what Oprah knows. I know what Steve Harvey knows. I know what Charlamagne the God knows. I know what Netflix knows. Saying yes to Monique is an occupational hazard.
You see, DL actually said a lot there. He doesn't care that him mentioning those people re-traumatizes Monique. He doesn't want to mention that not being paid to promote a movie and then being blackballed is traumatizing. He doesn't want to say that Oprah doing a show about a violator of Monique and going against her wishes and doing a show is traumatizing. You know, he doesn't want to say that. You know why? Because then you can't make Monique out to be the bad guy. In order for DL to be the good guy, you have to leave out certain information. When it comes to his child, he did that to his child. He said he didn't believe her. He said it was an inconvenience. He said he didn't protect her. All Monique did was repost the video. But it doesn't matter because y'all believe in holding black women accountable, not black men. And that is a problem within our community that needs to change. I don't give a fuck about DL, to be honest. I think he's getting exactly what he deserves, and more black men who've made decisions like this needs to be held accountable too. He didn't protect his daughter, and now he want to hold somebody else accountable. Get the fuck up out of here.